Gillo had sent messages to the caller stating that she had secretly been pregnant and unexpectedly gave birth at home. The messages indicated that DiMaggillo's baby was born alive and crying, but that DiMaggillo had done something to the infant. When deputies arrived on scene, they met with DiMaggillo. She was a little hesitant to speak at first, and then she advised them that she had been pregnant and delivered the baby and led them to a shallow grave in the backyard. During the investigation and detectives conducting interviews, DiMaggillo told them that she had delivered a baby in the toilet. The child had been crying initially. She then had walked away and returned, and the child had stopped crying and moving. At that point, she hid the infant in a duffel bag in her closet and went about her normal daily routine. She went to her college, did a performance at a theater, and then returned back to the home. At that point, she determined that she needed to bury the child. This was at approximately 10 p.m. last night. At that point, she then buried the child in a shallow grave in the back. She is currently detained and will be charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child. The investigation is still ongoing with the medical examiner, interviews. We're able to tell you that the child was a female, weighing approximately 3 pounds, and was 3 pounds 6 ounces and 18.7 inches long. Under Florida's safe haven law, parents who cannot care for a newborn may safely surrender the child to any fire station, hospital, or police station, which obviously is something we encourage anyone to do. Palmco's Safe Haven Baby Box allows for complete anonymity and is located at Fire Station 25, which was activated on September 30th, 2025. Parents can quietly and safely place their newborn inside the secure, climate-controlled box without having to interact with anyone face-to-face. As I stated, the investigation is still ongoing, trying to figure out every aspect of it. But if anyone has any information, they are encouraged to call the Sheriff's Office at 386-313-4911. Does anyone have any questions?
Did you tell us if anyone knew she was pregnant?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did anyone know she was pregnant?
According to her, no. She said she wasn't even sure she was pregnant until she gave birth.
Can you describe the nature of the welfare check call? Did it come in saying it was about her, right? Or
She had sent messages on social media to someone else saying that she had given birth to a baby and done something with it. So that person called us.
Why is this manslaughter and not murder?
Because of the fact that as of now, preliminarily, we can see that the baby was born and left. She did not make any other actions to inflict harm on the baby.
Sir, I'm trying to understand this. You're saying she didn't know she was pregnant?
That's according to her, yes.
Was the baby?
If I can continue, and then, can you explain this again?
That's her statement, that she was unaware she was pregnant, and she had been having some pains. She thought it were period cramps, some issues, and then she gave birth to the child. That was her statement.
And why didn't she take care of the child, do something? Did she explain why she put the baby in a duffel bag?
No.
Was the
That's a
father-
question I have too.
Was the father aware of the pregnancy?
According to her, no.
What do you think about this?
It's tragic for the child, for everyone, and it baffles me. I could never imagine being able to do that. I'm right there with you. I don't understand a lot of the answers she had, but that is what she said has occurred, and that's where we're at with the investigation. Obviously, we're going to keep going, keep conducting interviews with everyone involved, and see if we can come up with more answers. But right now, all we have to go on is her statements.
So the baby died as a result of the abandonment?
That is what it appears, yes.
Was it premature or was it?
I can't tell you if it was premature or how far along she was, but I can give you the weight was 3 pounds 6 ounces, 18.7 inches long.
And you said classes. Was she a college student, high school student?
It appears, yes, at one of the local colleges.
Oh, a college student.
DSC? When you said she went to college,
I believe it was Daytona State College.
and who was in the house? Who else was in the house?
Only her mother.
The father is at sea?
I'm unaware of where the father is, but we still need to actually speak to him, so I don't want to go too in detail with that.
Does the baby have a name? Is it
Oddly calm. But I can't, everyone expresses grief and everything in their own way, so I can't say the reasoning, but I watched some of the interview, and I didn't see any remorse.
You described it as a shallow grave. How deep is shallow, and is the baby going to get a proper burial after the investigation is conducted?
As far as the grave, deputies only had to remove, I'd say maybe 4 to 5 inches of dirt to discover the baby. As far as the rest, we're just not there yet.
Was the baby wrapped in anything?
No, sorry. A towel? Wrapped in a towel.
It was on the property itself,
Yes.
in the backyard.
Behind a fenced-in area in the backyard to the side of the house.
I just want to clarify the welfare check that was prompted by a call from the friend.
The person she messaged saying she had given birth to a baby, and
Would you characterize that person as a friend of hers? Or?
we still need to speak to them, so I just don't want to go too into depth with that.
And that was a friend who called and for the welfare check.
Correct.
The mother, can you tell us what she was doing, her role? I mean, did she, when they come to the house?
She was just a little reluctant to speak to deputies, but there was no, she was a little nervous, but nothing you would expect in a situation like this. Other than that, like I said, I was there for a lot of the interview, and it was just oddly calm.
We understand this may have been a relative's house. Was there anyone else in the house with her yesterday, today?
I believe I already answered that. It was only mom in the house today.
Do you believe anyone else might be implicated after the fact?
No, everything we have points to no one else having any knowledge that she was even pregnant.
And can you say anything else about the cause of death? Was it?
No, that's still, medical examiner still determining that.
And I just want to be clear, the baby was born yesterday, I wasn't sure.
According to her, the baby was born it was over 24 hours ago. Approximately 10 p.m. last night is when she returned home and buried the child.
But in that time, where was the mother? When the
Her?
baby was left alive and she left,
Mhm.
where was the mother? Where, not her, the older, you know.
We
the
still
woman.
need to finish our interview with her and see where her whereabouts were, but according to and the child was in a duffel bag in the closet, so she probably wouldn't even seen it, but I can't speak exactly where she was at this point. We still need, like I said, this is very active. There's still a lot of interviews, but we wanted to make sure we got the information
Can you
out.
describe the property, and could anybody have seen any of this activity happening?
Not in dark. I mean, you'd have to be on their property.
Do you know how much time elapsed from the time she gave birth to when she came back to the bathroom?
What time did she say about that she had given birth?
It's about the middle of the night on Thursday, and then
Oh.
she came back the next.
So about 24 hours.
Yeah.
About 24 hours between the time child being born and her burying.
Sir, can you give us the suspect's name again, please?
Her name is Anne Mae DiMaggillo.
How do you spell all that, please?
ANNE. And it's MAE. Last name is DEMEGILLO. She's 20 years old.
Has she been taken to the hospital for examination?
We still have her in custody, and we're going to follow our protocol before she gets actually charged and booked in at the jail.
Any prior criminal history with her? Any prior mental health issues that the sheriff's office is aware of?
Not that I'm currently aware of, but we're still looking into all that.
Chief, what's the time lapse between the actual birth and her coming back to the bathroom and finding the child deceased?
I think it was.
She remained inside the bathroom, and
Okay.
she watched the child die, according to her.
So initially, she watched the child.
What? I'm sorry.
So I apologize. That changed during the investigation. She watched the child until the child stopped breathing and moving.
She watched the child.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry.
No, I understand. Trust me.
She goes to the bathroom. I'm sorry. This is.
She goes to the bathroom. She thought she just had cramps, pains, and then she goes into labor and delivers a child. She sees it in the toilet, leaves it there, watches it, hears it cry, and waits until it stops crying and moving.
You're
She
saying
watched
in
her
the
baby
toilet?
die?
That's what it appears. So yes.
You said in the toilet?
Yes.
The child was in the toilet?
Yes. Correct. Right. Yes.
She watched the child in the toilet?
She watched the child until the child stopped moving, crying, and breathing.
At any point from when you started talking to her to now as we're speaking,
And-
Isn't sure of what happened?
And just want to make it aware, this interview is still ongoing in other areas, so things have changed. Has she, I know when I watched, she had not shown any remorse. Did that change, Sergeant?
Generally, no.
No.
Did you try to justify it or rationalize it?
No, and I don't want to go into the details of the investigation, but I know at one point they did have a question about that, and she didn't express anything.
Was
No.
she forthcoming about everything, or you were just saying some details have changed? So is there anything that has changed over the course of your first interaction to what you know the last update to be?
Just the more details of what had occurred between her time being there and her actions. Because initially it was that she had left, but now she had said that she stayed there the entire time.
So I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you again, given the new details.
Of course.
Are you a father?
No.
Regardless, are you blown away by this?
Yes, because I have a niece and I couldn't. Yeah, I could never do that, and it baffles me, to be completely honest. Sometimes you can't explain everything.
Chief, has the identity of the father been established?
Yes, but we are not.
But
But not
it's not a family. It's not a member of the family.
of whose her family? Not to my knowledge, but we're still working on that and notification as well.
Any timetable of when she might be processed and would this warrant potential
It's
protective
not.
custody?
It's not a warrant. We're arresting her on a probable cause affidavit, but it should be later tonight. I would be no later than probably 10 p.m. unless there's, we have to do the proper, make sure she's medically cleared and everything, but should be tonight.
Would she have to be separated from Gen Pop, just given the nature of the charge?
We'd have to see her criminal history and everything else that all goes into play.
Has it been established that she knows the difference between right and wrong?
Vaguely. Like I said, we had asked the question, and while she didn't show remorse, she went towards that she knows it was wrong, and she should probably be held accountable.
But she's a college student.
Correct.
So she graduated high school.
Mm-hmm. She had no. She spoke fine. She was able to hold a conversation. I mean, there
Was
was.
she surprised when your deputies went knocked on her door this morning?
I initially I wouldn't say was surprised. She was hesitant to speak and a little nervous, but she messaged someone some pretty serious details on social media. I mean, I would think when she sees law enforcement at the door, she probably has an idea what it's about.
Sir, you were talking about your niece?
Yes.
It's emotional.
Yes.
I saw you get a little
Mhm.
emotional. Why?
That's a child. Anytime even an injury, especially the death of a child occurs, it's sad. I mean, anyone, but especially a child, and just the details of this, and for someone to just stand there and watch this, that's tough. It's heartbreaking.
You know what high school she graduated from?
I do not. All right.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, like I said, if we get more details or if there are any other charges, we'll let you guys know. But
Thank you.
that's all we have.
Thank you.